If you know you've been around tomato plants, yesterday you saw me working on some leaf samples that was infected with pathogen. You saw me staining them, looking to see what the structure of the leaf looks like, because this is a new plant system, as well as to observe any pathogen growth. So I'll just go through some of the structures, or in general, so maybe a little biology 101 or plant biology 101. I'm not a plant biologist. Actually, I did not like plant biology. Kind of still don't like plants. But in grad school, I was in a plant biologist lab. She was also a plant physiologist, and she thought it was blasphemous that I was working in a plant biologist lab and not like plants. So she took me to some of her first year plant biology lab and told me to TA some plant biology classes. So even though I'm not an expert, some of the tips and things that I've learned became useful. So first, I'm going to show you just a sample of a leaf segment, and I did not do much clearing. I just added some staining on the leaf because I was interested in seeing the fungal mycelium, because I could see the fungal mycelium on the leaf itself, and so I wanted to see what that looks like microscopically. So on this leaf, you will see that it is green. You might also see some tube-like whitish cream structures. So those are the many veins, or the main vein running through the leaves. I didn't clear it, so you won't be able to see the smaller veins. However, I want to draw your attention to the thin blue lines going on top of the leaf. And so those thin blue lines represent, they're in fact fungal hyphae. So yeah, then we'll go on to the next set. Here I have another image, and those white arrows are pointing to the leaf veins, and it is hard to see because this leaf wasn't necessarily cleared, but there are leaf hairs known as trichomes, and those will have black arrows on them. I'm also going to put another image that has the trichomes on the leaf and the stem, so those white fine tubes. And these leaves are on plants that are intact, they're implanted, they're growing. On this side over here, I'm going to show you another image that has the leaf that was stained, but I want to draw your attention to the purple blue filaments that are running through the leaves, and then those are fungal hyphae or mycelium, and that's amazing. Here, I don't know if the stomata is necessarily my favorite structure in the leaf, but it is pretty cute. I find that it's cute. Here, I'm going to show you what inside of the leaf looks like. So inside this particular leaf, this is not the natural color, so that pinkish color that you're seeing, I stained it. And if you see those irregular cells, those are subsidiary cells in the epidermis. And then in this image, to me, they look like lips. Other people say they're bean-shaped or kidney-shaped, but they are the guard cell of the stomata. They make up the stomata. They also look like hot dog buns, so whatever. But those two bean-shaped structures, to me, when they're closed, they look like lips. They represent the guard cell, and then in the center of that, you have the stomatal pore. And so those guard cell, that entire structure, represent the stomata, and the stomata is responsible for gaseous exchange, water leaving the leaf by opening and closing. So you have thickening and thinning of the guard cells, so the outer lips or the two beans, and they have cells in it, so they thicken, open, close, all of that. And then the pore that's inside, or that becomes when it's open, that's where gaseous exchange occurs. The stomata is regulated by things like humidity, light, temperature, hormones. So those things will influence whether or not the stomata opens or closes. So you could expect that on a hot day or during drought conditions, the stomata will likely be the stomata is closed because it doesn't want to prevent too much water escaping the leaf because it's already under dried condition. And different leaf stomata is found on both surface of the leaf. So the top side, which is known as the adaxial surface, and the bottom side, that's known as the abaxial surface. And how I remember it is abaxial, I think of backside. So it means behind. And the number of stomata will vary based on the plant, the structure, the function, where it's grown. Something that I learned recently, that this particular plant surrounding the stomata, so those irregular structures, to me it looks like an abstract painting. I haven't been to a lot of art museums, but it actually looks like somebody's face to me. But often the stomata, they're either surrounded by 4 subsidiary cells. It could be 1 or maybe 2. So if they're 4, they're tetracytic, diacytic, or anorcytic. And at the top right, or top right of the image, I don't know if you can see some structures within the guard cell, and those are chloroplasts. So the guard cell is not only responsible for gaseous exchange and water leaving the leaves, entering leaving the leaves, but also for photosynthesis. It contains chloroplasts, those green structures where the plant makes food. And another set of epidermal cells, you also have the palisade epidermis. And I'm just not going to go into details, but those are the more shaped. Let us see. Oh, what is that called? It's not quite diamond shape. I don't know. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like a, I don't know what 5 is. But this is the palisade cells. It's part of the epidermis. Contains like parenchyma cells. After you have the cuticle, outer cuticle, inner cuticle. But yeah, it's very interesting. And another fun fact, I'll try and show you some trichomes. So in this particular plant or leaf, there are 2 types. So you have the normal or multicellular leaf hair, or you have the glandular trichomes. And these trichomes contain crystals, and some of those glands at the end contain essential oil. So that, I don't know, that distinctive smell of a tomato plant or tomato leaf is released from those glandular trichomes or leaf hairs on the tomato leaf and stem. And the trichomes, they carry out many functions: protective, deterrent for predators, humans and animals alike. So I can imagine if you're moving, you're touching the tomato plant, it will release that distinctive yellow liquid and that distinctive tomato smell. If you know you've been around tomato plants in your gardens or anywhere, you know that distinctive smell. So it comes from those glands on top of the leaf hairs. So yeah, so now I'll show you some images of what I took while I was doing the staining. So enjoy. Bye.